Hello everybody, it's Aaron. Welcome to another episode of Feed the Beast. It's Direwolf20. We're on the Primus server. And welcome to our new base location. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do here, but I think we've got plenty of room to do whatever we want, really. We got a nice little ocean up here if we want to do anything underwater. And I didn't realize this until, well, about 30 minutes ago. One of the Thaumcraft things is over here. I don't think it's going to be a problem though, because we can just drain the node or get rid of it, or we could do something. But this is it. I put the link book about where I thought the center was. I think it's pretty close. So, I mean, all the trees and stuff will go away, but it'll give us plenty of room for expansion. So I've done a couple of things, not really much with the base, but I made a Manolin rapier, and I made the Pyroclast pendant. And basically the only reason I made this was because I was in the nether with the blazes, and this thing will put you out if you're on fire. So this thing plus looting, I got a few stacks of blaze rods. I don't really know what we need them for, but I figure they're pretty good to have. That also allowed me to make the Botania thing that I meant to make a while ago. The alchemy catalyst, which will let me turn things into other things. Like I can turn leather, or no, I can turn rotten flesh into leather, or tall grass into this stuff called pasture seeds, which is basically, it just allows you to plant grass on any dirt block. So I'm finally moving along in Botania, finally generating a fair amount of mana. Most of that is just because the area is chunk loaded and it's been a little while. So I want to make a tree farm. I want to do it with forestry. I want to kick it old school. I'm going to need 60 of these, which means I'm going to need 60 of these, and you get 4 per craft. I think I need 75 and 30 redstone, which is what I have in my inventory. I tried the hobbyist steam engine. It still outputs MJ, and it won't connect to a kinesis pipe, nor will it connect to a conduit. I tried it in my test world, so we're out of luck on that. So I'm going to make one of those steam dynamo things from thermal expansion, because they will hook up to a kinesis pipe since these are now RF. So we don't have the machine to make the power conduit. I mean, we could make it right now. I mean, it's not all that expensive, but this is 2 planks and 1 glass and then a redstone to make it a kinesis pipe. The stone is even cheaper. I don't know if you still have to use wood to pull out of an engine. We may try the stone just to see how that works. I don't think I got any iron. Let me grab a couple iron. I always forget something. So we're going to need 2 copper gears. Oops, I forgot to make the coil. And I probably forgot the recipe, but we'll see. And I think this goes, maybe it's like this. It seems wrong. It is. There it is. Steam dynamo. Doesn't give all that much power, but we don't really need a lot. I just want to run the thermionic fabricator with it, and I may hook up the sag mill too, rather than letting the ENET bridge convert the EU to power that. So I just made a couple of blocks right here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this pipe here, and that pipe there, and actually let's pick one of them up, because I want to see if that dynamo will connect to the cobblestone. Doesn't look like it does. So I guess the difference now is you can use the wood as a limiter if you want. Yeah, this says input pipe, so I'm assuming that you have to take power with this, and this will just limit. Okay. I really haven't done a lot with Buildcraft since the advent of the kinesis pipe. So that'll go just like that. We'll put our fabricator right here. We're going to put, I don't want to put all the glass in it. I always do that, and then I should not have extra. Well, I guess I didn't get enough tin. Not a big deal. Okay, I don't want to put all the glass in because I don't want to melt any more than we really need to. I'm just going to put the water on top of this. What a jerk. Get out of here. He doesn't know I'm recording. Sorry, Blizz. Alright, so we're going to do this. We're going to put a little bit of coal in there. Hopefully we see the power shoot through. We do. We put some glass in there. As soon as this gets above here, it should turn into liquid glass. There it is, and then we can just do this. So we get about 8 for one glass block. I'll just put in one more. I'll put in a few more. I forgot I needed 60 of these. I'll probably need one more beyond that. Yep. Alright, so we have 60 tin electron tubes, and now we can turn this guy off. I don't even remember. It makes 80 RF without any augments. So these guys, I think they switch these at some point. They constantly drain power. Which, I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's a very small amount. I think they implemented that just to keep these pipes from blowing up when they still blew up. So we're going to need to make this recipe. I'm not going to do that with you. I'm going to do that on my own. And then we're going to turn 3 of these. We're going to need a farm valve, a farm hatch, and a gearbox. And the gearbox takes power. The hatch, wherever it is, the valve does water. That's an easy one. And the hatch actually uses a hatch in the recipe. That's where you input and output items. So to start, we're probably just going to use Buildcraft transportation pipes, because the farm will actually auto output the saplings and stuff. So we're not going to really pump anything in except water and power, and it runs on fertilizer, which you make with apatite and some sand. And it's really efficient. It doesn't use a ton of power, and it lasts a pretty long time. So let me do all the crafting, and I'll come back and we'll set this thing up. Well, good morning, everybody. It's morning for me. What you just saw was a demonstration of the Horn of the Wild and the Horn of the Canopy. Obviously, the horn of the canopy will need to be used after you lumber axe a tree. Otherwise, the lumber axe will not recognize it as a tree. But it's still a pretty cool thing. So I hope I've got everything together. We'll find out momentarily. First thing we need to do is make a couple of elevators so we can get up and down. And I'm going to have to go through and get rid of all these pneumaticraft seeds, especially the creeper ones. I can't deal with it. I'm tired of hearing explosions every minute or so. Alright, so we'll pop that there. I've already laid the groundwork for this. So originally I was going to build the tree farm that is 15 by 17. It only takes 60 blocks and it's much more efficient than what I'm actually going to do. I made 4 more blocks for the 14 by 14 farm. It's a 4 by 4 by 4 actual multi-block. The reason is because I wanted to keep it all in one chunk. Because I'm going to have this loaded during this whole process and over there. I didn't want to have to load 3 chunks, potentially. So I just decided I'll just make the other 4 blocks and we'll just load a chunk. So I've got a bunch of crap in my inventory. Let me get rid of some of it. I'm going to drop that even though it's going to replant itself. So this forestry multi-farm, it's a 4 by 4. This can be the bottom or it can be the top. I like to make it the top, but this has to be attached to some level of your farm. So this will be my top level, and then the farm will actually plant the soil on top of these stone bricks. So if we wanted to, we could build up like this, but I think that kind of gets in the way of the trees growing and the leaves and stuff. So I like to build this part below ground. So I've only cleared out just enough room to work, basically. We'll need to get rid of that torch for now. I want to put this right here. I figure we can we'll put the hatch on this side, and then we'll put the gearbox on that side. Well, that corner. So we should see a black line going across it. There it goes. Takes a minute to form. Now we see the interface. You can put circuits here to tell the farm what to do. We're just going to use an unmanaged farm. We don't really care. We'll go ahead and throw in some dirt just to get it out of our inventory. And looks like we're going to need 3 pipes. So I need to turn this into the pipe sealant. I probably ought to just turn all of it. I don't think we can really use this for anything else, since I can use those Botania floral powders. So there we go. We're filling up with water. All we're going to have to really do is put the apatite in, and it goes right here. And then the saplings go over here somewhere. I think with this type of farm, you don't actually have to pump any dirt in, but we'll have to check that out. So we're going to put power here. We're going to need, I think we'll use iron pipes for that. I don't know if I'm going to need an iron transport pipe, so I'm going to save 1. We'll make the rest of them transfer pipes, and what do you know, I didn't bring a wood pipe to get the stuff out of the engine. So we can put this right here, or we can put it right here. Either way, we'll throw a wood pipe on top of it, and we'll throw an iron pipe right there. And then See, we need 2 more of those. That's not that bad. Hopefully that's enough water to keep this thing full. I guess we'll see. So this thing is going to automatically output items. Let's move this back one. We still have access to 2 sides of it, so it'll just be easier overall. So we'll throw that guy directly under the corner. We'll run our power like that. Run our stone pipe down. We're going to need a diamond pipe right here to tell it to put the logs in it. Of course, I don't have any logs right now. We're going to tell this guy to accept from the back and output on the left. And then let's put a gold pipe right here. And then I think we're going to need an iron pipe right here. This is going to be a rat's nest. Brink says that Buildcraft is for nerds. So I guess that makes me a nerd? Oh, I don't know. Okay, so my idea is this. Everything's going to come out of here. Saplings, wood, apples. We're going to tell the wood to go red. Everything else will go around. The charcoal comes out the diamond. And then we filter the charcoal here as well. And then everything goes and gets put into a barrel. How does that sound? So we might as well just run our pipe through the floor right here. And we're going to have to filter the bottom of them. Yeah, we might as well. We have a couple of diamonds, not that big of a deal. So let's knock out the back wall. Put our barrels on top. I'm going to have to block out the red. Actually, I can save a pipe. Because once there's something in there, nothing will happen to that gold pipe. Alright, so we're going to have a barrel for, we'll probably do saplings here. Charcoal will go in. Once this thing is full, excess charcoal will come to one of these barrels, whichever one we want. And the other 2 barrels will be for saplings and wood. So if this thing fills up, that's the only time we'll ever get any logs. So let's make a couple of stacks of that. I only wanted 1. So that goes right there. And as soon as we turn this thing on, we'll go ahead and just throw some coal in it. And you saw some dirt leaving. It's automatically going to put it out here. All my saplings are in a barrel over here. I don't really want these guys to blow up my stuff. So we'll filter these. This one we'll do... Actually, let's do the logs on the end, and I forget what the upside is. It's white. So we'll do these here, and let's do the saplings in the first one. So saplings will be red. We'll go ahead and lock the barrel just to be safe, and then once we get some charcoal, we can set the rule for that as well as the apples. So we'll throw these saplings in here. They should go ahead and get planted. And then we just wait for the trees to grow. Okay, I got some more saplings and an apple and some charcoal before I came back here. So we need charcoal to yellow. I don't think I need to do anything over here. The open one on the iron pipe is where it's going to go out. So it really doesn't matter which one we set for apples, and it is white, correct? Yep. So we'll put those on white. And the unfortunate thing is we're probably going to end up with apple oak saplings, and it's not going to match. So it won't go into any of these pipes. That'll be my luck. So let's cover up back there so that when it hits the ground out here, I can just pick it up. I don't have to go fish it out of there. So we've already got a tree grown. Now we're harvesting. Nothing happens. We didn't set our rule back there. So let's do this. We go red. And let's put our pipe back. Everything comes out. I should put gold there to speed it up. Probably not that big of a deal. Everything should go into the back of the furnace. Well, all the wood should. The apple should go here. Everybody's going to get cooked. Charcoal comes out. It can't go in there because there's still coal. And I ended up with a couple for some reason, because I didn't set the rule for the charcoal. So in theory, this should work indefinitely, not counting fertilizer, with exception of the sapling, since we're going to get a different kind of sapling out than we put in. And it'll be a while because it does reuse the saplings. So it fills up its own inventory before it outputs them. So I'm probably running a little long. Probably way long. Let's look. Oh yeah, this segment alone is 20 minutes. I'll figure something out in post. So there's our tree farm. I'll probably put some glowstone or something here. Maybe only on the corners. I'll leave the rest of it open. And this should get us a fair amount of charcoal. At some point, we should be able to hook up a steam boiler or something and run it. There are many different ways to do that. We can do it with planks or, logs, sawmill, whatever. We'll probably just use charcoal. So there it is. It's not as compact as it would be with Ender.io, but I didn't really feel like making all the conduits, and I kind of missed Buildcraft, so I figured I'd use some of the pipes and figure this out. So that's going to do it for this episode, guys. As always, if you have any questions or anything like that, please leave them down below. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.